MashaAllah, Jazakallah khairah to Hafs Shakilza for the beautiful recitation of the Quran, subhanAllah. So just as we were talking about the virtues of the gathering itself, subhanAllah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives us, and he recited about the verses of rahmah and forgiveness, subhanAllah, that we should never ever think to ourselves that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will never forgive us, that we always have this chance with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Many of us, we think to ourselves that how can I turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how sinful I am. But if you look at the verse, and if you reflect on the verses which have been recited, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قُلْ يَا عِبَادِيَ الَّذِينَ أَسْرَفُوا عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ لَا تَقْنَطُوا مِنْ رَحْمَةِ اللَّهِ. Right? He says that those servants, and he says, ibadi, my beloved servants, in other words. Those who have transgressed, right? Asrafu, meaning they've become extravagant, they've gone beyond the limits. They've gone beyond the limits. Right? He said, لا تقنطوا من رحمة الله. That do not despair. Right? The mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the compassion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we should always remember that doesn't matter, in our life, we have different types of relationships, different people that we will come across. We have our parents, we have our children, we have our colleagues, friends, different types of relationships, wherever we are. And know that when it comes to the relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, nothing can match that. Nothing can match the relationship between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let's take, for example, many of you, so many youngsters are here, as soon as you finish school, right, you've gone through school all day, during class, you're chatting to your friend, right, during break time, you still talk to your friend, you're playing with them, playing football. After you finish school, you go home, right? You have probably a half an hour in between your maktab, your madrasa time. You jump on Fortnite, you're still talking to your friends, you're still messaging your friends, playing with your friends. You go to maktab, you go to madrasa, you come back again. Then you're contacting your friends again. Imagine one day you didn't speak to your friend. Imagine one day, your friend says, jump on Fortnite afterwards, yeah? And you go home and you don't jump on Fortnite. You don't jump on, whatever online game you're playing. I don't know whether people still play Fortnite or not. I don't know, youngsters, can you confirm that? Do you still play Fortnite? No? What do you guys play? Roblox, yeah? Roblox. So you all play Roblox. Imagine you don't jump on, and then what happens is, it's like, where's my man? Where's he gone? Where's this guy gone? One day goes, second day he doesn't come on, third day, fourth day he rings you, or you might ring him, and say, what is this guy? What? He hasn't called me for 4 days. It's holiday time. He's probably sleeping. 4 days are passing. He said, why are you belling me now for? Why? 4 days have gone. Only 4 days have gone. But imagine, you didn't call Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for 1 day, 5 days, 10 days, a month, maybe a year can go. Forget that. Let's just say 20 years of your life, 30 years of your life. Let's take it to 60 years of your life. Many of us, in today's day and age, what's the lifespan? 60, 70. Imagine just before you pass away, or that your time is coming to an end. You've been diagnosed with some terminal illness, and you thought to yourself, you know what? Let me turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let me turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I've sinned all my life. Now that Allah has given me a sign, my time is up. You call Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is He going to say no? Is He going to say, you didn't call me for 60, 70 years, you're calling me now? Is Allah going to do that? I can't hear everybody. No, right? But you do that with your friends, you do that with, don't do that with your wife. You do that with your parents, right? One of the closest relationships that you can have is with your parents, with your mother. A son and the mother, or daughter and father, with your parents, you have a close relationship, right? I'm not saying to do this, but imagine even your own parents can go against you. And children can go against parents. Everybody can leave you. There might be a time in your life that everybody leaves you, right? For whatever reason. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from this. But know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will never ever leave you. You might be, in the middle of the ocean somewhere. So middle of some desert. Right? You can't call anybody. There's no Wi-Fi, there's no data, 4G, 5G, whatever it is. There's none of that. You can't get no data, no connection. Scream as loud as you want. Nobody's going to hear you, unfortunately. But who can hear you? Connection is not there, or you might not have no network or whatever, but the connection is still strong with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so this is something that we have to remember, that when we come to gatherings like this, it's so important that we try our best to come to gatherings like this. Right? Not just because somebody might have heard that there's Dal Jaw, right? I'll be honest, when I heard there was Dal Jaw, I said to Mullah Yahya, I'm definitely coming. Okay? So don't worry, don't be shy. Okay? So if somebody came for Dal Jaw, or whatever it was, you saw refreshments on the poster, even then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive you. Right? Because you were in this gathering. This is the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when we have, for example, when we have even ta'aleem in the masjid, or even if it was an announcement. For example, many times we've come to the masjid, alhamdulillah, Mullah Hanif, or the imams, they've given a little nasiha about something. Sit down. What rush is there? If you're in rush, it's different. But sometimes we're so eager to get out of the masjid. Right? We're so eager to get out of the masjid. But just for that small little while that you might sit in the ta'aleem, small bayan after the first salah. And because of that, you're forgiven. Right? And I seem to use this example, especially now that we're quite close to Old Trafford, right? Who supports United here? I support United, by the way, unfortunately. Okay? So don't be ashamed of it. Okay? You see, this stadium, Old Trafford, is full, isn't it? What's the capacity? About 70,000. 70,000 capacity. And it gets full up. Nearly every week, definitely. Twice a week, without fail. It's very difficult to get a ticket. Okay? Very, very difficult to attain a ticket. Not like the Etihad, where they have to give tickets out for free. So you see these stadiums, they're full of people, right? And they're shouting the names of, the football players. Shouting their heads off. Bruno, De Bruyne, they're trying to motivate the players. Now, how many times have you seen where a player says, oh, thank you very much, by the way. Thank you for that support. They might just clap, and that's it. Do they recognize you? Does any of them recognize you? I'm sure majority, right, don't have some sort of friendship with any of these football players. Right? It doesn't matter how loud you scream their name. Messi, Ronaldo's name, whoever it is. Scream as loud as you want. Unfortunately, my friends, they will not remember you. But you just remembered Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just at once. You remembered him, you didn't say his name. What does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say? فَاذْكُرُونِي أَذْكُرْكُمْ. You remember me, I will remember you. You didn't even have to mention his name. All you did was just you just remembered Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He didn't even say his name. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He doesn't just mention your name. He boasts about you and I in front of the angels, not in Old Trafford, not in Etihad or the Bernabeu, whichever stadium it is. Where does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say your name? In the heavens, in front of the angels. Why? Because you came here, you sat here for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You can't see Jahannam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us from the fire of Jahannam. We know the punishment of Jahannam, but you wanted to be saved from Jahannam. And you never seen it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive you for that reason. Because you came to save yourself from Jahannam. Nobody here has seen Jannah. Right? Nobody here has seen paradise. We know the descriptions of paradise and Jannah, but nobody here has seen it. Right? We know the descriptions. You don't know what it looks like. Even then, you came here because you want to attain Jannah. You haven't seen Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But yet you came here because you want the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For that reason, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mercy upon this gathering. Even if you came, you saw light refreshments, this is the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. My brothers, especially my brothers and sisters, we need to connect ourselves with the masjid. Right? The places which are abghadul bilad, right? The places which are hate or detested in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is where it's been, we busy ourselves in those places, the marketplaces, the superstores, right? But when it comes to the masjid, which is ahabbul bilad, which is the most beloved in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when we come here, we come 5 times a day. As soon as the Imam says salam, that's it, we're out. Going to those marketplaces. I'm not saying don't go. If you have a necessity, it's different. Okay? But we busy ourselves. We spend a lot of time there. As soon as our school finishes, we go there and we just waste time there. But connect yourself with the masjid. Why? Because this will save you from the fitna. This will save you from all the evils outside. Alright? We should connect ourselves. We should feel as if though we need the masjid. Many of us, we work in offices, or we work on, in environments where malaika don't necessarily, where malaika not necessarily present. You go to work, the people that you work with, people that we work with, they leave their home. Before they leave their home, the dog licks their face. They go work, come back, the dog licks their face again. Right? Do you think malaika are going to be around these people? Fortunately not. They drink alcohol and so on, they're swearing. When you come to the masjid, this is full of malaika. Right? People who you want to be around. The ulama, your imams are here. People who will benefit you. Right? Brothers will benefit you. So this is a time where we should, especially now, we should connect ourselves with the masjid so we can save ourselves from fitna. And this is why we have our Mawlana Habib, who many of you know, who's local to this masjid. Who's a graduate of Darul Umbari. We're talking about what to do in the times of fitna. Mawlana Habib, as you know as well, is a graduate of Darul Umbari. He's busy in a lot of khidmat, a lot of services in the community. He's linked. He's also does some work with the Links project, which many of you know that we're in collaboration. The Masjid Hidayah are in collaboration with Links for this event. So without any further delay, I'd like to call Mawlana Habib, who will talk about what to do in the times of fitna.